WrestleBuddy Podcast. All about wrestling. Subscribe and follow for more content.
Hello and welcome to the WrestleBuddy podcast. I am your host, Christian Garcia, at TrueCritch on Twitter, and I am joined by Harold.
Hey, it's me. It's TRC61 coming at you live.
And Joe.
Hello, we can follow the joke at JK Empty Space and step into the void.
And our newest signee, if you will, Maddie.
How you guys doing? It's Matty Laws. You can find me at Matthew_Laws_. I'm not hard to find. Look for the guy with the crazy hair.
As every week, a lot of wrestling. And let's kick off with Hell in a Cell. Great short card, but some great stuff coming out of it. I think the biggest highlight from what I believe came out of it was the women's match, the women's title match, to be specific between Bayley and Bianca Belair. What do you guys think about that?
That was genuinely one of the best openers I've seen this year. The way that they worked that match and the way that Bayley was able to utilize Bianca's braid as not only a weapon, but like as an environmental attachment. It was great.
Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
I was impressed with Bianca's performance. Like, it was her first Hell in a Cell where Bayley had the experience, and like she just rose to the occasion and she just broke that ceiling in that match, and it was like she deserved to win that match.
Yeah, it was really one of the most different type of Hell in a Cells, but still like pretty violent, and you saw like a lot of callbacks to Bayley's last mistakes in Hell in a Cell with the kendo stick. She already had it taped up.
That was perfect.
Just great. Like, and then to end it with the KOD on the steel steps, like, ooh, coming out of a.
I said on Twitter, that's one of the most brutal endings to a match I've seen in a while.
Man, like
the way that ladder just did not have any give.
And just like how Bianca has stepped into the role of women's champion and has went above and beyond. Like, just one of the like the greatest, one of the best rising stars that we've seen in a very long time. Hell of a year she's had, and
it's been all organic too.
Yeah, I just can't
wait. That's the best part.
When the crowds come back, how they're gonna love her, because you could see when she won the title how much they loved it.
Not just the crowd, her and Sasha too.
Yeah, it was a very beautiful moment to see them main event WrestleMania. And then you had two WrestleMania rematches too, where the losers of the WrestleMania matches got their wins back. Rollins beating Cesaro and Sammy defeating Owens with a big win. And then what came out of it, like Owens said that he was going to take a break from wrestling or WWE, and then he just got announced later. We'll talk about he's facing
for a last man standing match.
Yeah, you have to kill yourself even more to get into a match where you have to kill yourself. Like, just funny. And we got Rollins picking up his win. What worries me about that, Cesaro, where does he go from here? Because
Cesaro deserves the championship as far as I'm concerned. He's been there 14 years. He's been there over a decade. Not once has he had his quote unquote WrestleMania moment. I would like to see him have it with the title.
I 100% agree. You can't call that match against Seth Rollins his WrestleMania moment. He's got to get a title somewhere.
Yeah, Cesaro is a guy that he should have been at the top ages ago. I'm watching Cesaro progress through, and I've been disappointed that he's not been had a shot at the world title, to my knowledge. I'm surprised he lost to Seth Rollins this time. I would have thought that they kept the momentum going, but again, it's just if he's lost, I hope it's not completely destroyed his progress now, because that tends to be the thing with these rematches, these big rematches. You have a big rematch, and everything you've worked up for over the past few months is gone. So
there's definitely going to be a rubber match on that series, big time.
There needs to be.
Yeah, they'll go in one more time at Money in the Bank, but I think Rollins is going to win this because they are teasing Edge and Rollins.
That's a money match, though.
Yeah, that's a huge match to have at SummerSlam. That has needed to happen for years. So I love that Edge is.
When was it that they teased Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles? Was that 2018 or 2019?
I think it was like 2017. It was when he was WWE champion, and they were at the Alamo Dome, and then like this picture came out, Photoshop picture of them facing each other, and everybody went crazy over it. So it's cool that we're getting.
That would have been the dream match of the century for me.
Yeah.
Cool that Rollins and Edge is a great dream match for us, so we're gonna get it. But it's like that Cesaro's kind of gonna get pushed aside after having quite a big rise after WrestleMania. But hopefully they don't forget about him.
I hope they don't. I agree with you. I hope they don't push him to the side, and say, "Okay, you did well. Thank you very much. Now you're fucked." I mean, no.
As Vince McMahon does. No, but I must admit, Edge and Rollins, it's got me interested as well. And I'm a massive Edge fan. I have been for ages. And Seth Rollins, after he broke away from Triple H on his first heel run as champion, he started to really impress me more then as well. So you finally got to see what he could do when he wasn't such a cowardly heel. And some of Seth Rollins' in-ring ability is amazing. So this match has got me interested, I must admit.
And then we had
I agree. It'll probably be the match of SummerSlam.
Yeah, absolutely. On the Raw women's side, we had Alexa defeating Shayna in a weird match. I'm surprised it was what it was, but I was surprised they didn't use any more like special effects in this match, because this is the last Thunderdome pay-per-view. Like,
I'm gonna keep quiet about this match. I'm gonna keep quiet about this
Rant
storyline.
away, my friend. Rant away.
I got
He'll need an hour or
fuel in
so.
the tank for that.
Yeah, he'll need an extra hour just to fill out.
I might need my own special video. I've got so much about that fucking storyline. Sorry, whoever's editing.
It's something. And then we had Rhea disqualifying herself to get away from Charlotte, which is just weird. Why is Rhea looks so strong in NXT, but against Charlotte, she's been looking weak. And yeah, go ahead, Harold.
The most cool part about that match was when Charlotte said, "You're learning quick, bitch."
Oh yeah, that was something.
I thought that was what made the match.
I'm just doing what you would have done, Queenie.
Exactly.
Yeah. They announced that they're facing again at Money in the Bank. I
hope that's a better match. Genuinely,
I hope, yeah,
in ring wise.
They should have a stipulation, because you DQ'd yourself. Might as well make it a street fight, something like.
Falls count anywhere, no DQ, whatever. Do what you got to do, but make the match happen.
Rhea should.
I don't know how you guys feel about submission matches.
Oh, I'd love to see another submission match, but if Charlotte Flair's in it, then it's
in the eyes of the wrestlers, though. Those are hard to pull off. Bret Hart didn't like doing it. Stone Cold didn't like doing it. I mean, if they don't like doing it, it's going to be hard to pull off.
And they shit on Natalia versus who was it? Was it Paige or was it Sasha in the submission match?
I think it was Natalia and Paige. I think it was. And then the fans just didn't like it because it was a decent technical wrestling match.
Yeah.
Oh man, that reminds me of Ziggler and Rollins had the Iron Man match for the IC title, and the fans just cared about
phenomenal.
The clock. And the fans cared about the clock more than than the match itself. And I was like, dude, we're getting awesome Intercontinental match. Why are people? And then people say that the Intercontinental title gets. Yeah. No, I think it was the main event.
Was
of
it?
the-
Oh, you're
it
right.
was-
That was the main event.
of that pay-per-view. It was the Extreme
I think it was the
Rules,
first
I
time the IC title had main evented in
think.
years.
Yeah, which like they put the IC title more relevant. Like, what more can you ask? But yeah, that was in the past.
They should make another main event with the IC title because I find that they've lost touch with the IC title as far as that goes.
I gotta agree. I think Apollo's been killing it as Intercontinental Champion, and Big E was before that. So, I enjoy
Apollo to move on from Big E.
Yeah, and if they got to, maybe Cesaro could get the IC title.
I saw somewhere on Twitter that Big E has had like 70% of his past 3 months in ring with Apollo.
Well, we'll talk about it in a bit. He finally beat Apollo to get to the Money in the Bank. And the main event of Hell in a Cell, Lashley defeating Drew McIntyre in a crazy, violent match. I really enjoyed it. I think it adds more story that McIntyre lost because he's never won a Hell in a Cell match. So you can go back next year's Hell in a Cell and be like, this is his redeeming story, if they remember to. But and now
Where he wins the title back.
Yeah. And Lashley's still on top. I love that. And we got a weird little scene where a hand popped out under the ring. I don't know if you guys noticed that after McIntyre Lashley slammed McIntyre into a table and you see a hand pop out under the ring. It was a huge meme all over the internet. A lot of people were
I think I've seen the meme, but I'd have to go back and rewatch what spot it was.
It's Tony Khan trying to take talent, stuff like that. So the real invisible hand.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's when they had Hornswoggle as the manager on computer there. Okay.
And then that leads us to Raw, where I love the Raw after or before Money in the Bank, like the hype up, because we get qualifying matches, and I always love getting ideas of who could be in the matches. And what I enjoyed about Raw this week is all the qualifying matches were all the winners were guys who never won the WWE title. We got Morrison, Ricochet, and Riddle all qualified so far. What do you guys think about that so far, those three?
I think that's a good move in WWE's direction. They're giving the younger members a time to shine. I mean, of course, then Riddle's already been involved with MMA, so he's already used to this stuff anyway. But I'd like to see Matt Riddle pull it off, actually.
I like the fact that they're all three like fresh faces. Like Morrison hasn't been in a Money in the Bank in forever, and we've got Ricochet and Matt Riddle entering their first.
Yeah,
I was about to say Ricochet wasn't in last year. Right?
No, Ricochet's been in one a few years ago. Like,
did he?
19? Yeah. 19.
Okay.
With, when Brock ran in the ring and won it.
That's why I forgot about that. I blocked that match out of my mind.
Yeah, I think I would have too. From an outsider looking in, I think it's good to see that they've got new people coming in. Yeah, Ricochet's been in one before, but in general, like you said, none of them have held the world title before. So it's going
to be exciting.
Yeah,
and
so
all those matches.
It's going to be good, and Morrison's a fantastic talent. I'm rooting for him, or anyone else who I've done. Really, but Morrison's the guy I want to go because he's the one I'm most familiar with. So I'm going to put my card on the table for my predicted winner on that one there instantly. Morrison could go for Money in the Bank, and hopefully
it would make sense to me.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Me also.
I really do hope so. I think he deserves it.
I'll give my
beyond the Call of Duty in there when he came back.
I'll give my prediction of who's going to win when we talk about SmackDown. And, but what I loved about this, like every match delivered and like they went all out, which I think Raw gets a lot of flack, but lately they've actually had like great wrestling matches, and like you thought the former world champions were going to win, but all the underdogs pretty much won that match. But in the final spot, we got AJ McIntyre and Randy Orton for the final spot. Who do you guys think is going to take it?
I think they might give that to Drew to keep him in the title hunt.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Harold.
Yeah, it's the most logical one I can see.
Right.
I don't know what they're doing with AJ Styles at the moment, but just the fact that Drew McIntyre is one of Vince McMahon's guys. You
I'd
know,
love AJ in there though.
yeah, I think AJ Styles and Bob Morrison in that match would be awesome. But I think it's probably going to be Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I think McIntyre, because they want to tease us that he can get the title back, and then I'm curious to see how the fans are going to react when he gets to like the top of the ladder,
Yeah,
because he's been in the world title picture for more than a year now, and maybe people are getting tired of it. If he,
We're really gonna find out who's over in that match.
Oh, big
Just
time.
wait for someone to get up those rungs.
Mm-hmm. And another talking point I thought I wrote in my notes was the new Nikki Cross. She came out as a superhero, got a lot of flack. People were complaining about it, but then once they found out it was her idea, they started loving it. And for me, it's like whatever gets Nikki on TV. Like, hey, look at Mighty Molly and the Hurricane. Like, they succeeded as superheroes.
Man, one of the best. They were great at it too.
Yeah,
I think Nikki's gonna thrive in this, especially when crowds come back. Especially since what was it in a media call a while back? They said they want to make WWE like the MCU, and one of the best ways to do that is to build a strong female like superhero. And I think Nikki's going to get over very well with the crowds. We got him back in like 2 or 3 weeks, and I genuinely think crowds might get behind her.
I think Nikki's just loved so much that no matter what she does, people are going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I loved her the best when she was with Sanity, man. It's too bad that they couldn't do anything with Sanity, because I think that would have been a great springboard for her.
I've got a little bit about Sanity. I heard Vince McMahon had no idea what to do with Damo. That baffles me. How do you not know how to book Damo?
Well, we'll discuss the releases in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I think my final note of what stuck out to me on Raw was Xavier Woods and Bobby Lashley killing it in Hell in a Cell for free TV. Like, just shows how great Xavier Woods is. Like, let the New Day do their own thing, but still be a unit, like we discussed last week. Like, how great was Xavier Woods in that match, and how great was Lashley as well? What do you guys think?
Lashley is arguably at his peak right about now. I mean, he's been in WWE before. He then went to Bellator. He was in TNA. He's back in WWE. I mean, right now, I think he's at the peak of his career, and I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, we're getting pretty much a Kofi Mania 2 with Lashley, and just seeing Lashley versus Kofi Kingston and for the WWE title, like, really, like, I love that. I love that look. Like,
that's going to be a really good match.
Like, I love that Kofi Kingston's getting another shot at the WWE title, and like, who better else than Lashley and him? Like, I love, like, this Money in the Bank's looking really good as of right now.
At some point, I would love to see the entire New Day hold a world title. At some point, it would just like actually cement their place in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And anything else, Matt? If you have to add on Raw that you could remember?
I genuinely had no doubts that Xavier and Bobby were going to have a good match. That wasn't in the question at all. What I really was like out of my seat for was the end, where Bobby just has Xavier in the hurt lock at the edge of the cage and Kofi can't do anything about it. I'm excited for the match at Money in the Bank. There's going to be a lot of tension between Kofi and Bobby, I think, and it's going to show.
I love the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I think the emotional part was the best part of that match. Like Kofi, they go, my friend, let him go, let him go. You know, it makes, you can't help but root. It makes you feel like you got to root for the guy now. You know what I mean?
Well, All right, let's move on to NXT. Matt, you had some great notes you sent to us earlier. What's some highlights from NXT this week that you have?
Carmelo Hayes, the former Christian Casanova. That man is going to be a golden star for NXT in the next year or so. It may be even less, especially if the rumor of the mass exodus is going to be happening. But
Star making moment.
oh yeah. And I don't think it needed the ruthless aggression gimmick behind it, but
That was kind of weird. Like,
the whole match itself proved that Carmelo Hayes can hang up there with Adam Cole. I would love to see him versus Johnny Gargano. And I'm going to get to Johnny Gargano here in a second because I've got turned around on Johnny Gargano. I'm all on the board of the hype train now. But I'll get to that in a second. What do you guys think of Carmelo Hayes versus Adam Cole?
oh,
There was
man,
a lot of great spots.
They killed it. And then there's like this great picture I saw where like when he hits the Panama Sunrise and then Cole's like flipping out and how he reacted to the spot.
He does a full-on handstand out of the Panama Sunrise. Not out of it, but like to sell it. And it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's Adam Cole. What do you expect?
And with the releases and like we're getting like very little cruiserweights right now and we don't know what's happening with 205 Live, but it looks like cruiserweights are going to get more spotlighted on NXT. So
I didn't even think about him versus Kushida.
which did have that was his debut match actually.
Was it?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that week's NXT. My bad.
No, yeah, they crushed it too. So like, hey, look at Leon Ruff. Like, he came out of nowhere and fucking won the North American Championship. You never know with.
Yeah,
with
I could totally see
Wasn't big enough
Carmelo
to wear
Hayes.
And well, more what I loved about since his return is Samoa Joe's teasing us with these dream matches that we don't know could happen, but they keep doing this to us. They're playing with our emotions.
They're dangling in front of us.
I love, man.
That promo with Adam Cole and Regal later on in the night as well was great, where Adam Cole just had none of Regal's crap, even though Regal, he's got this newfound confidence now that he's got Joe backing him, and I love that because I feel like he's going to be a little bit more smarmy with some of the heels on NXT now.
And well, my next thing,
I can only agree with that.
before we get to that final great moment that happened of the big debut, my next set of notes were Gargano versus Cross. What do you have to say about Gargano, Matt?
So over the night with the whole promo, the backstage segment with Regal returning the pencil that he broke months ago, and then the match, that tag team match with the Way versus Dunn and Lorcan, I thought that was genuinely one of the best tag team matches that they've put on this year.
Yeah, out of guys who aren't a tag team, crazy.
Exactly. Like Birch is hurt. That's Lorcan's partner. Dunn is literally like the third man there, and he's the singles guy, just proving that he's just a top-notch professional wrestler.
But the confusing part is they're teasing Cross and Gargano, possibly at Great American Bash. But like, is Gargano now face? Is the Way the males from the Way faces, but the heels are the female in the Way? Like that's kind
so. That's the weird part here. Is we've got Gargano and Austin Theory supposedly playing face. We've only seen what happened on NXT this week. We don't know what's going to happen next week, but I think that they might play like the Delirious faces and still kind of like do heel tactics. Like Theory might help Gargano via putting his feet on the ropes or holding the ropes or something for him. And Candice and Indy are going to still be heel as well. Like firm heels.
And also, how great has Austin Theory been with the Way? Like, I was kind of like, oh, what's so great about him when he was with like on Andrade, probably because that did not feel right, him and Andrade. And then him with Rollins was kind of okay. But then once he joined Gargano and like his delusional, like being a dumb heel stuff, I just been very like 100% invested with Austin Theory. And
I thought he
love
was going to thrive with Rollins, but that didn't end up happening.
which was weird.
But we're getting what I thought we were going to get with Rollins with Gargano, and somehow I think it works better.
And he's so young still, so he's got a long.
He's younger than me, and that pisses me off.
Yeah, me too.
And you all are younger than me, and that pisses me off. So there you go.
One thing I forgot, but just remembered, Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed showed up on main event as like a tryout match. People are thinking that's what it was, and Karrion was missing Scarlett. And I was reading a lot of tweets like, he doesn't have his entrance, he doesn't have Scarlett. Is there that much to offer with Karrion without Scarlett? And that's what I wanted to ask you, Joe. Like, do you think you saw Kross in TNA Impact? Does he need more character work, or can he just do it on his own?
He is a beast. He is an absolute monster. He can do it on his own. His promo work, if he's given the freedom to really express himself, is absolutely terrifying. Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, as he was in Impact Wrestling, he was one of the best in-ring performers I've ever seen. He was an absolute legitimate badass, and he had some fantastic matches against John Morrison, especially. He's just and Eddie Edwards is one of the main players on Impact Wrestling. He's just such a brutal wrestler that if he goes onto the main roster, the focus should be on Kross. The focus shouldn't be on Scarlett. Otherwise, it's just not going to do Kross any favors. But if Kross and Scarlett go together and go as a package, then don't take all the focus off of Kross and don't hold him back. Let him go, and he can be bigger than Brock Lesnar. He is that good. He is awesome.
Yeah,
I saw his match with Moxley a couple of years ago, like when Moxley first got done with his 90-day non-compete.
Yeah,
he had a match with Kross on his like indie exit tour before he signed with NXT, and that match was phenomenal.
Yeah, he's absolutely incredible. He's so deceptively strong. Even he looks a lot more filled out now, but when he was on Impact, he still was slowly building himself up. But he was so deceptively strong then, and you could see the more technical side of him, all the martial arts and stuff he's studied under. He's just, and his promo work is awesome. He could literally sell anything just by using his eyes, or it's just using his face. He's so awesome. I was really, really excited to see him on NXT, and I'm glad to see he's doing so well now. But if he does go onto the main roster, the focus does need to be on him, and if the fans are too busy focusing on Scarlett, then they're not paying attention to what Kross has done on NXT and what he's not done elsewhere, and then they're missing a hell of a lot if they're not focusing on the right things.
And
I agree 100% with you, Joe.
People are watching main event for him.
It's too quick, but that's just me.
I think he's right. He killed the entire NXT main event division. Like, let's move him up to the main roster. I think the main roster needs several guys. So maybe
I don't want to put the belt on Gargano as a transitional champion though, because that's what he would be.
That's the thing. They have nobody of like who's going to be the guy to take it off of Karrion if he defeated everyone. I'm hoping Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne wasn't pinned in the match. So
I love Pete Dunne. So
Pete
Ciampa too.
Ciampa would be good.
What about the rumors that Walter's coming over to the States?
I love that.
I'd love to see Heel Man come over to the States, but that's just me.
I've never oh man, Ciampa and Walter. It's like I think that was my favorite match of the year. Like just the way he just chops the shit out of people.
Or Walter Dragunov still happened this year, and that's still a match of the year for me. It happened in no crowd, very little commentary. It was brutal.
And they got a rematch coming up.
I'm excited for that. So excited. I don't watch NXT UK, but I'm gonna watch that match.
When there's big matches, I'll tune in.
Like Kaylee Ray and Meiko Satomura too. Yeah. That was a great match.
Oh.
And
no doubt in my mind that they were gonna have a great match.
It was Meiko Satomura.
Yeah,
have her feud with Asuka. That would be just.
And then at the end of NXT, we got the debut that I was thinking, like, did they just forget about this? But nope. Last minutes, they were right there. The Diamond Mine debuted with Roderick Strong looking like the leader with Malcolm Bivens as his talking piece.
Roddy doesn't need a voice, but Malcolm Bivens is the perfect voice for him. I'm so excited to see Malcolm Bivens finally have something that hopefully doesn't get dropped within a month.
Yeah, like Malcolm's been in and out. Finally, with Rust, he found something, and then he's sticking with Rust. But now they got the Diamond Mine, which I absolutely love. Like, it's different. NXT does look like they're getting a lot of guys, a lot of
heel factions.
Yeah, kind of AEW-esque, but more in the heel side. But I really like that. Like, go back and watch Roderick's matches on 205 Live. Like, man, that guy treated those matches like he was
he wasn't even part of the brand either.
Yeah, like he just showed that
it was for the Cruiserweight title tournament.
Yeah, that period of time of 205 Live, it's on another level. Absolutely love it. And then
I actually got really sad seeing all the releases.
Yeah, and they got Hideki Suzuki, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, in their stable, who's signed in as a trainer and now used as a on-air talent, which is awesome. Like, it makes you kind of hope, like, can we get Steve Corino on TV and other trainers backstage?
I think Steve Corino would be great on TV, especially if they give him a little bit of leniency with his storyline. That would be mint.
But the Diamond Mine, I love this. It gives the Cruiserweight title more spotlight when you have a big stable. And it doesn't just mean it's going for the Cruiserweight title. You can see with Legado de Fantasma, they can go anywhere. Now he's feuding for the North American title. So, like, it's cool to see, like, people wrestle for the Cruiserweight title, but then also move on to the Heavyweight title, which we didn't see.
We also have Swerve looking like he's trying to challenge Bronson Reed as well.
He's trying to go for everything, which is cool.
Yeah, I want to see Hit Row hold everything, but Hit
Row is something completely different. I'm like, why hasn't this type of stable existed before? Like, I honestly, I love it. And finally, Impact. Joe, what do you got for us this week?
Okay, well, first of all, our speculation last week was true about Don Callis. He is now confirmed as just Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers manager for the foreseeable future. He's got into talks with Tommy Dreamer over the night and got a match set up next week between Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Sabin Moose and Sami Callihan. But the twist on this is that Don Callis wanted Tommy Dreamer to be in the match, and rather than do that, Dreamer got this team set up, and Moose doesn't know that Sabin, who's his opponent at Slammiversary, is the third person in this tag team. So there's going to be it's like a slight build to Slammiversary, and it's going to be an interesting match overall. But yeah, everyone's thought on where Don Callis is going next has pretty much come to light. So it's going to be interesting. I also gets me thinking that Don Callis' time is going to wind up after Slammiversary. I think Kenny Omega is getting closer and closer to dropping the title to Sami Callihan, and we might get Omega versus Callihan or Omega versus Moose at Bound for Glory. But I'm really hoping it's just Moose versus Callihan by Bound for Glory. Going on to, we got Rosemary and Kiera Hogan faced off. Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz are the current Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Rosemary once again has beaten Kira Hogan, but on the flip side, Decay as in general is still falling down the ladder. Casey Steve and Black Taurus lost to TJP and Fallah Bahh on BTI, so that's about the third loss in a row for Decay in general. But Rosemary is on the up, and also Havoc has once again appeared at the ring to assist Rosemary when Tasha Steelz has gotten involved. So it's clear we've got a build now and where Decay is going, because Triple XL at the moment are out of action. AC Romero has been hasn't been able to compete for a while because of COVID, and he announced today that he's also injured his ankle as well. So we're not sure how long he's going to be out for, but he's out of action for a little while. Might be a couple of weeks, might be a bit longer. Not sure how serious the injury is, but I know he's hurt his ankle. So Decay is basically fallen into the slot where Triple XL were. So sadly, a team I'm really, really a huge fan of has got to be the team that takes all the fall, because TJP and Fallah Bahh have been needing a push in the tag division for it was something that we were hoping for when they first came about. And now that TJP is not going for the X Division title, it makes the most sense to finally to push him forward that way. Oh god, I just switched my phone off.
But we got Rich Swann and Willie Mack teasing them coming back together.
Yes, they've got a match with TJP and Fallah Bahh next week.
And I see that being the match for Slammiversary, for the Impact Tag titles. VDB versus Willie and Rich Swann.
I'm thinking, going off of someone's rant earlier today about his reaction to things going between Dreamer and Don Callis in a massive rant. He says, I can see this being a Dreamer and Don Callis match coming at Slammiversary. What I see coming is Rich Swann and Willie Mack and Tommy Dreamer versus the Good Brothers and W. Morrissey is a potential match at Slammiversary.
It seems like they're teasing Eddie Edwards having problems with W. Morrissey next.
Yes.
And it really looks like W. Morrissey's just going through all these top guys of Impact to lead him up to a bigger thing.
Yeah, Morrissey's he's got he's doing his own thing. But they could easily work a way to bring Morrissey in, because he's still got unfinished business with Rich Swann and Willie Mack, and he doesn't like the close bonds that everybody has. And Rich Swann and Willie Mack are solid friends, and that can just piss him off basically.
He looks like he hates friends.
He doesn't like friends. He doesn't like loyalty.
He was known to being with one friend for most of his career. So.
He just doesn't trust anybody anymore, and he's playing that character off brilliantly. Since he's come to Impact Wrestling, he's just a completely different person. He's awesome, and the backstage promo that I saw literally a couple of hours before we come on, between there's Eddie Edwards, he's talking to Kojima about setting up a match, which I'm hoping will be at Slammiversary. He wants Kojima one-on-one, and that at Slammiversary would be awesome. That would be like Michael Elgin versus Marufuji we had a couple of years ago level. That would just be one of those special exhibition matches that needs to happen. And so
it'd be a pretty good match, work rate wise as well.
Yeah, Eddie Edwards is the face of Impact Wrestling, and have him taking on a Japanese legend is just a great way to say thank you, Eddie.
100%.
Absolutely.
And other real stand-up moments. Susan versus Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo's now finished with Kimberly and Susan's inserted herself into this match to try and get some revenge on Deonna Purrazzo. Susan has broken the internet with all of her running commentaries throughout the match, all the promos and stuff she's done. It's just boosted her popularity up more and more and more. And throughout this match, she's there's a big standoff, and rather than going tying out, Susan just says to her, professional wrestling right now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
And
It is
that-
the single greatest line in wrestling
the
today.
single yeah, that has broken the internet. Or the reaction from everybody across the board. People, I've seen messages from Adam Thornstowe and Jesse Goddard, who used to work with Impact Wrestling. They've seen it and they're just rolling on the floor laughing. Just how brilliant Sue Young has gone from the Undead Bride to Susie. She is literally like Mick Foley. She can do almost anything, but she is. I don't know where this is going to go between Susan and Kimberly now. I think we'll probably get Kimberly versus Jenna Prazo before Summerversary finally comes around. There's like
He popped off Sue Young once this year, didn't she?
Yes,
she lost the title to her and won it back.
Yeah, and then it's Susan. So it's really confusing where the direction is going. But everyone's just enjoying seeing Susan as Susan.
Who does Deanna have for Slammiversary? It looks like they're not really building.
There is nobody yet, but I think it might be Taylor Wilde or it might be Mickey James. It's gonna come a point before Summerversary. Diana Price is going to keep on going on, but she's beating everybody on the roster. And then someone's going to come out and while she's in the ring, and she's in the ring, like strutting her stuff, showing off and everything, and then announce that they've got a match at Summerversary. So it's going to be it could be a really shocking build, or it could be a pretty anticlimactic build. It depends really. Impact need to set this up right to really sell this match, because Diana Price is most likely going to win. If it's someone coming in like Taylor Wilde, or if it's someone like Mickey James coming in. So, and there is no real strong opponent for her at the moment either. So Diana Price has got this title probably till the end of the year at least. It's how I can see it playing out.
They're probably going to get a boatload of women after Slammiversary. We got that 90-day compete ending pretty soon.
I was going to say, doesn't that end right before Slammiversary? Because I joked that it might be Peyton Royce managed by Billy Kay.
I see Fire and Flavor retain the tag titles, and then the Iconics come out to challenge them, to set them up.
That'd be great.
Yeah, they are now called Inspiration.
Yeah, I like
that.
The Inspiration.
Oh, I do too.
Or I can see them with Neil Dashwood. I can see them. Because going on to the next point, actually, a pretty cringeworthy, to put it lightly, spark between Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace, and Jazz returning down to the ring to try and make something of this mess that's happening at the moment. We got we saw Rachel Ellering as clearly not the best talker, and she was a bit out of her comfort zone in this, I think. But the main problem was it just went on for too long, and Jordan Grace should have just said no or hit somebody, and then everything could have moved on. But instead, they've chosen to delay this once again. And I was watching it along with everybody on Twitch, and people are just going absolutely mad because they just want this storyline to move on now. And is Jordan Grace going to turn heel, or is she just going to keep wasting everybody's time? Well,
I thought that was going to happen then and there. Like, she was going to attack her, and then we're going to set up her match at Slammiversary or something. And then,
it's just
let me think about it. And I'm like, they're going to stretch this out even more. Like, it's just super weird.
I don't really like to shoot on Impact Wrestling or anything, but this is getting a bit ridiculous. This now, it's one of those things.
It's like, we know where this is going. Just do it.
It's like you said, we know where it's going. Please just speed it up a bit. And everyone watching along, they're finding it really hard to take it seriously now. It just got to the point where people were laughing. Because it was there, because they knew it was just coming. It's just the weight was just getting too much. And then when Jordan Grace stormed off, Tennille Dashwood coming back down to face off and try and get one over on Rachel Ellering, that saved the whole segment, to be honest. Because that also makes me think that Jazz will try and get Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering together back on the same page, and the Iconics will come in, team up with Tennille Dashwood. We'll have them versus Jordan Grace, Rachel Ellering, and Jazz at Summerversary. that's like a wild card match that I could see happening. I don't really want it to be honest. I'd rather see Jordan Grace face off against Rachel Ellering and or
she
something
beats
like that.
Jordan. She beats Jordan, and then we got Rachel Ellery and Deanna because we're out of women. Like
Yeah, or something like that at least. Yeah. If there isn't going to be someone fresh coming in, then I would like to see Rachel Ellering go for the title next, and then Jordan Grace could cost her the match, and that would be the heel turn right there and then. But so it'll be then a slow build paying off, but it's been a very, very slow build, and it's paying off, which doesn't. It's this double-edged sword with how this whole story is going with it, and. But I'll quickly move on once this phone unlocks. The other thing is Kojima and Eddie Edwards' match, that main event against Violent by Design.
So many times I thought they were going to win the tag titles.
Yeah, it went right down to the
so
wire.
many near falls. I loved it. Like I was expecting it, but I was like, damn, this went above my expectations.
It could have gone either way. It was really, really closely contended, and it was just so that because it went. Oh god, I'm so buzzed about it. I'm actually lost for bloody words.
It's all good.
Yeah, it was just an incredible match, and we got an amazing showing again from Dina and Doring, and that's one of the best things about this. We know Eddie Edwards is a first class wrestler to begin with, and Kojima was just there to be the big name. Kojima is a wrestling legend. And it showed off how good Joe Doring is again. Joe Doring got to pull off a hell of a lot more offense than we usually see him do, and Dina didn't look like a +1 in this. Dina got a lot of great counter wrestling again, a lot of great striking. It was just a really well balanced match, and it was a good way to finish the whole show. So it was not the best night of Impact Wrestling, I must admit. It's been probably the weakest one for quite a while. But if you take out all the weak spots, then you got a very strong match, strong night. And also, I'd also like to congratulate Sami Callihan and Jessica Havoc on their engagement last Sunday.
Hey, I didn't know about that.
Yes,
Congratulations.
And pay my respects to Super Genie as well. Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace, Super Genie.
Rest in peace, Super Genie.
Rest in peace, brother.
Well, let's move on to SmackDown, which just happened last night. First, they're kind of doing it slowly than Raw, but we got Big E qualifying for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Carmella was added to it, and that's one of the talking points I have. The thin women's roster on SmackDown, like not a lot you could do with this roster right now, and it's hurting it a lot. What do you guys have to talk about?
Oh, this is a tough one for me because I don't watch SmackDown. I really
because all we have right now on SmackDown is Bayley, Bianca, Liv, Carmella, and the tag champions Tamina and Natty and Natalia. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah,
Bayley's feuding with Bianca, and then we got Carmella and Liv trading wins back and forth past 3 weeks.
They're going to 50-50 the hell out of them just because I think they only have 3 women on the roster that aren't champions.
And it just, I think the tag titles mess it up.
Yeah, it's the same thing is happening with Impact at the moment, but we might be getting more knockouts in on Impact Wrestling, so hopefully that problem will be over. But with WWE, it seems to be going the other way. They've got plenty of women they can use, but they all seem to be on Raw, or they all seem to be on NXT. Well, I can understand NXT's the company you come up from, so obviously I've got no complaints about it. But the only other thing I can think of would be to just get rid of the women's tag belts, but then that's probably me sounding like a bit of a mark, which I don't intend to. But that
Draft should even things out a little bit whenever it happens.
yeah, hopefully
I
things will.
really hope they split the divisions.
I think they just gotta build more tag teams, but like just call up more women. You guys fired a bunch, might as well freaking call some up.
NXT is so many women on the roster. Like Aaliyah's been on the roster for almost a decade now.
Yeah, Leah, the veteran of the bunch. Yeah, she deserves to get called up. I think EO's time is coming. I did read. I'm not sure if it was accurate. I saw it was a tweet or something, but that supposedly Shotzi and Scarlett were getting tryouts on SmackDown beforehand, like last week.
I heard about
Bronson
Scarlett's immediately after Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed's went live.
So I think it's time we call up some women, but I don't think it's not impossible to build up 6 women. They've done it before. When they first split up the rosters back in 2016, you had Nikki Bella, Natalia, Naomi, Becky, Alexa, and Carmella. Those were the only 6 women on the roster, and they still managed to deliver some great stuff. Like you go,
they had that phenomenal elimination match.
Yeah, you could build it off 6 women, but I think what messes it up, Tamina and Natalia have the tag titles, and Sonya Deville is a character, not a wrestler. So what I think is going to happen is Liv. I'm looking on WWE's website. They haven't announced her on the match after winning Carmella, but she's obviously going to be in it. And I supposedly Mia Yim is on SmackDown's roster, but has not appeared.
Yeah, they have delayed her debut.
So I think she's going to take one spot, and I feel like the final spot's going to remain a mystery for any returning woman they have coming in.
Or debuting.
Yeah, or debuting. So
we do have Great American Bash in 2 weeks.
Probably going to send away some women to move up on the roster. So
I'd like to see Io Shirai in the women's Money in the Bank.
Oh, that would should freaking
I totally agree.
do a moonsault off the ladder to all them. Yeah, I would love to see that.
Can we talk about Zoe Stark for a second? She's phenomenal in that tag match on NXT.
I knew nothing about her, and like she's become slowly like my favorite. I love like when like someone I never saw before, I have no recollection of, it gets like a spotlight like that. Like of that. I know she was an Impact for a cup of coffee, Joe, if you remember.
The name sounds familiar. I don't know if
I don't know if her name was Zoe Stark.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I have no idea who she was.
It probably wasn't Zoe Stark. WWE likes to whitewash people's names whenever they get to the company.
Maybe
let's talk about the damn rascals.
Oh God, yeah, I know. But
Wesley.
That's
a name.
Yeah, those were weird. And then finally, the big surprise of last night was Edge coming back, which was there's no rumors about it. Everybody thought he was coming back when the crowds are back, but yeah, we're getting Edge versus Roman, another dream match for many people, happening at Money in the Bank, which, as I said earlier,
he was buff too. Like you knew he was in training. He's training hard.
It's stacking up Money in the Bank to be one great pay-per-view, as they should stack it up, because we are in front of crowds.
In front of crowds.
Yeah, and
it should be a really good
come back with a bang, and good luck to him.
We better not get any fucking Brock Lesnar, Mustafa Ali business. Otherwise, crowds are just going to be more sour than they already are.
That's what I'm worried. That's what I'm worried about, but not like it to be Brock Lesnar. Like we're gonna get Money in the Bank's gonna be filled up, and one person's gonna be taken out just to get that big return pop. Like someone's gonna get replaced in a match.
Yeah, someone who doesn't need to be replaced is gonna get replaced.
Yeah, so that's what I'm worried about. And I didn't say Big E got qualified for his Money in the Bank ladder match, and that's who I'm choosing to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. I said it before. I hope this idea is so good that I don't feel like WWE will ever do it, but I want Big E to win the Money in the Bank, cash in on Lashley after defeating, or if it's Brock and Lashley, he defeats Brock for the title, revenge for Kofi. Big E finally becomes WWE champion. That's like a dream of mine, but I
That would
want to
be
see.
awesome.
Yeah, I want to see Big E win this.
I would agree with that. I would go with that.
Yeah, Big E deserves the spotlight. I wanted him to win the Rumble and face Roman, but so we got Edge, which wasn't as bad. But I think it's time. Big E deserves this. As still a member of the New Day.
He is a phenomenal athlete. So he really does deserve it. If they're not going to push Cesaro, then push Big E at least.
Yeah. And now we got tonight's AEW, which still has not aired, which we will watch later tonight. And we have, I'm just going to run down the matches announced so far and let me know what you guys think. Let me go through the bottom. We got Ethan Page versus Bear Bronson. I've gave my opinion about Ethan Page. I think he would, the way that they put him with Scorpio Sky, it's like, why put two guys who made a name as a tag team with SCU in the North, go back into a tag team.
Different tag team.
It's like Ethan Page is phenomenal on his own.
He's awesome on his own, and he left thinking, he left his sour grapes with Impact Wrestling, shooting them down, and he's now right back where he started almost.
Yeah,
Probably I wouldn't say back where he started. I'd say he's a step down because Scorpio Sky is an awesome wrestler as well, and like you said, these two guys they should be on their own, going their own separate ways. They don't need to be together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the team's got great chemistry and everything, and I'm sure the matches are pretty decent. But these two, it's like look at Josh Alexander. He since he's broken away from Ethan Page, he's absolutely destroying everything, and he's probably the best wrestler on the roster right now in Impact Wrestling.
I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. Josh Alexander is on a tear right now.
Undoubtedly, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's absolutely amazing. But I knew he was good to begin with when I just saw him with the North, and I watched a lot of his matches from Canada and elsewhere, and he's absolutely amazing. But when you finally get to see him break away like you do in Impact Wrestling, and finally go the path he was intended to go on beforehand, before Ethan Page said, let's put me and Josh Alexander together and see how that goes, because they were a tag team on the Indies as well, but they rebranded themselves as the North, and they did a brilliant job fixing the tag team division. I must admit, now Josh Alexander's got that extra spark in it, and he's world championship material. He's a Triple Crown guy in my opinion. He doesn't need the world title, to be honest, to put himself over. But he's one of those guys that doesn't need it, but would be awesome if he had it regardless.
Yeah,
I think the match with Ethan Page and Bear Bronson's actually going to be pretty good. I think the two guys might have some pretty good chemistry.
But it's just like,
just random.
They be on their own. Can they be on their own? Like, why we don't? Everybody doesn't need an alliance in wrestling. Like
they really don't. I do know Bear Boulder's supposed to be coming back here pretty soon, like from his injury.
Oh yeah, he's been out.
Yeah, he's been out with I think a shoulder injury.
And then we got Chris Statlander versus the Bunny. Chris Statlander, I think, has so much potential. She is one of my favorite women's wrestler from AEW.
She's incredible.
I hope this. Honestly, like, I haven't been catching up on AEW Live. I'm excited to actually watch it tonight, because them on Fridays messed me up. Like, I like to go out on Fridays. I don't want to watch. I just fast forward through most, but tonight I'll watch live. But yeah, I hope this sets up her against Britt Baker. This will be an interesting contest between Chris Statlander and Britt.
Yeah, that's money on its own right there.
Yeah, I think she got a knee injury that set her down, but she's back and better than ever. And I feel like a hypocrite, but saying that everybody has a group. But I like her with Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. They just seem right, and
it works. It works.
I'm a fan of having the male group with one female that could also kick ass.
Yeah.
Like as we said earlier with Sanity, which would
and Hit Row.
Nero, yes. We still need to see what she's all about. She still hasn't had a match. And
I think I've seen a couple matches of her because she's wrestled a little bit on the indies, and she was pretty good, I think.
I'm not mistaken, but wasn't Vicky Guerrero announced to wrestle this week?
What?
I
You
thought
think?
I was. See, this is what I was saying. I said it on Twitter. Like, I don't remember.
If
Might be
that
wrong.
happens,
It's not on
you
the
guys
website,
need
so-
to tweet me. You guys need to wake me up or something. I need to see that.
I will let you guys know, but it's not on the website, so probably scrapped. Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm excited for this match. I've watched Hobbs start his career here in Northern California. He grew up like a few minutes away from me, and it's
damn.
great to see a fellow Bay Area native get a spotlight against Hangman Page, and I love how they put him with Taz, and this match will deliver, and I hope. I think finally it's hopefully it sets up Adam Page versus Kenny Omega. They didn't get a real breakup after losing the tag titles, and it's like we forgot they were a tag team, and it never got mentioned again. So I hope he comes back.
Yeah, I don't think they've crossed paths after Omega turned heel.
Yeah, and
I don't think they've even rubbed boots together at all.
And then we got the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks helping Omega with everything. What if this sets up Hangman with the Dark Order helping Hangman?
I want that so bad.
Yeah.
I want that so bad.
But and it was kind of teased. Griffin told us on our chat that it was teased during BTE. So I watch BTE, but that's kind of cool that they're teasing it. I hope it happens. And in our main event, this match was hyped up since Double or Nothing. We got Kenny Omega versus Jungle Boy for the AEW World Champion. I know Jungle Boy won't. Another Bay Area legend, as I saw him get his career here. I cannot believe he is son of 90210 star. And just crazy. I think at one show, the first time I saw him, this whole family was sitting behind me, and they were just screaming "Jungle Boy." I was like, "Who is this guy?" And then I look up, I was like, "What the hell?" Great guy. But yeah, I'm excited to see him get a spotlight in the main event of AEW. But
He's
possibly,
earned
yeah, he's earned it, and he possibly won't win, but they're gonna put on a great match.
Yeah, he was when I first found that Jungle Boy was going to AEW. I was really, really excited to see that this is where he was going. You know, he's one of these guys that AEW seems to put a lot of time in investment in, and really built him up to be the star he actually is. And it's good to see him getting another big match. I know he had a match for the TNT title a couple of months ago. Well, I'm not sure if he had a world title match beforehand. But
Did he face Jericho, or was it non-time?
He did face Jericho, but it was, and the match went down to a draw. Jericho said he could beat him in less than 20 minutes or something.
But this was before the title existed, right?
Yeah, this is when Jericho was world champion, and he literally just finished beating Adam Page and was saying he could beat anybody, and he was constantly insulting Jungle Boy. And so Jungle Boy's had a massive build up for a very long time. The Jurassic Express in general seems to be finally getting a decent build, because they started off from a very, very weak as well when I was watching AEW, and which is a bit disappointing because I'm a big fan of Luchasaurus as well. I think Luchasaurus is incredible, and so I thought that these guys need that push, and it's good to see that Jungle Boy at least is getting that push. If Jungle Boy gets pushed, and Luchasaurus is going to get more exposure too, and maybe it could lead to them being tag champions in the future. But it's definitely just getting them over with the crowd, because they are fan favorites, and so this match with Kenny Omega is going to be really good, just on paper. So I'm interested to see how it actually how it turns out, because Jungle Boy's going to give it his all, and Kenny Omega is still pretty banged up.
Yeah, they've done a great job hyping this matchup. I really like it. And One final thing I forgot to point out that we're gonna get a face-off between Tully Blanchard and Conan making his official Dynamite debut. Ooh, what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Is it to hype FTR versus Proud and Powerful?
Yeah, that's what it seems like it's going for.
Okay, it might be good.
Yeah, if it's all just promos, then Conan's got this in the bag. Conan is like one of the king of promos.
Yeah.
Conan will probably call Tully an old bitch or something.
Yeah, like
No doubt.
forget how great Conan is. Go back, watch his LAX stuff against, especially the original incarnation of LAX. How he would bash on America and all that. I just love that stuff. But yeah, Conan on TV, I love it. Like, give me more of that. Like, growing up, he was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up in the NWO. So I love this, and I'm excited to see what
He was a hell of a wrestler back in the day too.
Bro, ahead of his
Oh,
time.
I liked him a lot before he was in NWO.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he was a whole different wrestler by the time he was in NWO. But yeah. And then to end the night or podcast, we got very sad news yesterday. Throughout the day, it was teased that more releases were coming by several dirt sheets, and then they start coming, and it was quite a day yesterday in wrestling.
I genuinely didn't fall asleep till like 3 p.m. because of it. Every time I opened up my phone, there was another release and another release. And then before you knew it, all of 205 Live's roster that hasn't appeared on NXT is gone.
Mm-hmm. So let me go through everybody. Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, August Gray, Ever Rice, Chase Parker, Matt Martell, Kurt Stallion, the Bollywood Boys, and Neon Samir Singh, Arturo Ruas, Marina Shafir, Killian Dane, and Tino Sabatelli.
Tino Sabatelli got released?
News to me, last night after SmackDown, I went and I was looking through stuff, and right there, Tino Sabatelli released. He was actually released last year's pandemic cuts, and then they rehired him. He never appeared on TV, and then they cut him again, which is super weird. Like, but
there was also that writer that said that she had no prior experience of professional wrestling and called Bobby Ashley in an interview.
I don't see a lot of people were overreacting over it. Like,
I think it was a lot of overreactions, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, you think the best shows on television, I took the example of Marvel. Like, you think people writing Marvel shows know the entire history of Marvel comics? No, you do the research, and if you're good for the job, you get hired. Like, I think it was kind of a lot of bullying, and it just, I don't like how people get excited that someone loses their job.
It's never a good thing when someone loses their job. It's horrible.
No, like who would have known? What if she didn't know anything about the product? What if she would have gave us some of the best storylines ever? Like, nobody gave her a chance. Like let's hope she goes out and freaking wins Emmys after this.
Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just agreeing with Christian. I hope she goes out and makes a name for herself elsewhere, just to stick two fingers up to everybody who's put her down.
Yeah, it's just
since April 2020, Black Wednesday, we've had over 50 releases.
Man, I hate having people lose their jobs. Like, it just sucks. But like, the best thing you can do is like not bitch and complain about it. It's like, get excited to where they end up after. Yeah. Look at since the last pandemic, we had the Good Brothers killing it. We have Miro. He's currently TNT champion.
There are so many people on this list that have so much potential with doing top tier level.
One guy who, like, I'm an absolute fan of him since forever. Brian Myers killing it. in Impact, he's a whole different character compared to his losing streak, which was some of the best television I loved. But just now, the most professional wrestler, teaching guys, like, shows you that you could go out and do better things. So, like, looking at the list, Fandango Breeze hurt me a lot. Like they were two guys, like Tyler Breeze in 2014-15 NXT. Like, he was the first post NXT, like, original NXT guy that I really loved, because I would only watch NXT. I was like, oh, look, this guy Sami Zayn, who came from the Indies, that's some character, I think, is killing it on NXT. And then he has matches with Tyler Breeze, and he was like the first wrestler like I really enjoyed and made me a bigger fan of NXT back before it was on the network. And Fandango, who was there for 14 years and was Johnny Curtis, and I love Johnny Curtis. He was such a character. And then Fandango was over the top, like, great character with his theme song. So yeah, I'm excited to see where they end up.
I was going to say, both of those guys are going to kill it wherever they go. I can totally see him going and killing it either in Impact, or Tyler Breeze has connections with AEW. I can totally see him going and killing in AEW. The one that really confuses me is Tony Nese and Killian Dane. Tony Nese is extremely athletic. He's got charisma, and he's just a little short. And that's why I don't think he like thrived in Vince's WWE.
Yeah.
Like, he killed it on NXT. He killed it in 205 Live. The times he appeared on SmackDown, he killed it.
I see him going to the X Division. Like, that's where he's got to go to the X Division after.
I see New Japan's junior heavyweight division. That would be amazing.
All these cruiserweights should go there. Like,
Daivari too. Daivari will probably thrive somewhere like Impact. I think he would really thrive in New Japan's current American promotion. Like, they're strong.
And Daivari is currently working at Impact Wrestling now. I think he's on the production team, and he does make appearances.
You're right.
No, his brother Daivari, he just re-signed
right.
to.
I didn't know he had a brother. I knew that there's a Daivari on Impact Wrestling. I didn't know there was one.
Well, his younger brother, was signed to WWE since the Cruiserweight Classic. Was just released yesterday. But Sean Daivari, the older brother, who we know from being a manager and X Division champion, he just re-signed to WWE like a week ago, and he just showed up on BTI, wrestled Jake something.
Yeah,
but then was it? I think on Raw before that, he was on Raw breaking up a fight between Charlotte Flair and Rhea. So you got a Rick Rude appearance right there, a 97 Rick Rude showing up on 2 shows on the same week. So that's crazy. But yeah, Sean Daivari's backstage now, back in WWE.
Sorry.
Yeah, and you have Everrise, who was just picking up steam. Like, they got their show on.
It just dropped its first episode.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, this was devastating. But I know all these guys are going to kill it wherever they end up. Dane, or now Damo.
Where do you guys see Killian Dane going?
It's a tough one, because I want to be like, oh, he can join Violent by Design, but Violent by Design looks good on its own. Like, how is it? And you don't want to make it too much like Sanity.
I saw maybe Ring of Honor.
Ring
of Honor. I think AEW is starting to build up their big guy division. It'd be fun seeing him versus Miro.
Yeah, I cannot. I can see Dane as one of those guys who go out and get better than ever. Like, and proves that.
Imagine him getting in actual shape, like hitting the gym and just getting just massive.
Yeah, I miss it. Like, he used to have some good gear, and then when he went back to jeans, I was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's Sanity.
Yeah, sad, but hey, only good things can come out of this, and it's up to them now.
Yeah, they all of these guys, every single one of them. We went over Marina Shafir as well. Like I think she was starting to do stuff backstage because she wasn't on TV as much. I think she might have a chance as a producer somewhere.
Yeah, she never really got her chance to shine. Her and Jessamine. Like
I
a
thought they
lot
were
of people-
gonna do like a trios thing in
Yeah.
NXT.
Yeah, it sucks that you get something. Well, at least she still has Roderick in the company, and Killian got Nikki there, so hopefully they go out, do better things, and come back. But I can see anybody killing it everywhere they go. But yeah. Well, anything more you guys want to add on for
I'm
this
having
week?
technical issues.
No, it's all good, Harold.
No,
Anything
I've
more?
nothing else to add here. No, it's going to be an interesting few weeks. And Money in the Bank is definitely looking very interesting, I must admit.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go on, who fills up the spots. And if we're with Edge coming back, I really thought like they're not gonna bring back anybody before the crowds come back. And then we got that the first live show with SmackDown. So I'm excited. So we'll see what
We
happens.
should be looking forward to some really good wrestling soon. With crowds coming back, we should be getting some prime wrestling.
Oh yeah,
not just that,
everyone's
but
going to be up in the game now. The crowds are coming back.
And Slammiversary is gonna have a crowd.
Oh
too.
yeah,
I'm excited.
oh, some of
Slammiversary.
those matches in front of a crowd are going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I'll be back, gentlemen. I'm having technical issues.
But well, Harold,
Yeah.
hold on. We're about to end the show, so you're good. Oh,
Yeah,
so-
it's like the Slammiversary time is like the time where everyone's going to up their game. You know, we got the crowds coming back at Slammiversary. I know they're already there at AEW and WWE, but now the Thunderdrome's ended, so things are moving on from there. And they're WWE, I think, is now they're going to be touring more often. I'm guessing because the Thunderdrome has ended. I don't. So
Yeah, the Friday
and
before Money in the Bank is live crowds.
yeah, so it's good to see that atmosphere is coming back. So that's going to really just be a big boost for the superstars in the ring too, because a lot of them find it really hard to work without the audience there, even though they've because they've been in front of a big crowd for so long. It's one of the reasons why Tommy Dreamer stepped back from the ring for such a long time. It's because he was just found it too difficult to perform without the crowd there, because he's so used to having the fans behind him and pumping him on. Matt Hardy's the same. So
It had to be hard trying to pump yourself up in front of LED screens with people's faces.
Yeah, or just an empty arena.
I'm curious. Sorry, I'm curious how where was the sound added, like in post production? Like, did they still wrestle without?
There's all the crowd noise is post production.
But I was thinking in the Thunderdome, like, did they add that sound after?
I know that they've got like a small live delay, so they're probably able to lay it over.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And then WWE's going back to the UK in September, and we all know how crazy UK crowds can be, so I'm excited.
You going to see him, Joe?
No, I'm not a huge WWE fan, but if given the opportunity to go, I would, because I've never been to a live wrestling event, and anyone would be awesome. So, but and if it depends also what's on the card. If the card looks interesting, then I'll definitely be put my pen to paper and trying to get a seat.
Me and my brother are trying to go to Full Gear in November, so if anybody's going to be at Full Gear,
well, I'll be at SummerSlam, so
hell yeah!
I live in Canada. We don't get WWE cards up here.
Yeah, that always irritated me. Like, the last big Canadian show that you guys got was Toronto, was it? Like Takeover Toronto?
In your house.
Oh, near your side of Canada, right?
Well, that's on you. It's on the other side of Canada.
Well, we discussed everything, so I guess it's time to go. Thanks for joining us. Like us. Follow us on Twitter, wrestle_buddy.
Please like us.
Yeah, like us in general. Check out wrestlebuddy.com. We got great articles up there covering
Check us all out. There you go.
every wrestling show that airs every day on every channel and wherever you're from. And please follow me on Twitter at TrueCritch. Joe?
And follow me on Twitter at JOK empty space.
Maddie?
You can follow me at Matthew_laws_.
And Harold?
You can find me on Twitter at the Rev Cupid 61.
And thanks for watching. See you guys
Bye.
next week.
Take care.
Okay.